Good evening, Internet.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
Episode number 3.
We are on it.
Reggie here, and Marlon. We've got a special guest tonight, Kirbz.
Hello, boys.
How are we doing?
I'm all right. How are we?
Oh, living a dream as usual,
Good.
mate.
We're all good, we're all good.
So how do we know you?
Marlon's an easy one to start with. We've all kind of always knew each other, haven't we?
Yeah, like car park days.
Yeah, just from the car days and stuff. But we started hanging around with mutual friends, didn't we? And then Marlon ended up getting with my sister.
Woo!
And he kind of moved in with us, and we've not been able to get rid of him.
Sorry, mate.
We're still trying. And Reg was kind of, we were always around each other with the same group of mates, and massive love of beer and partying in the sesh. And
I love the sesh.
And then he moved local to me, and we kind of just started drinking more and more beer together, and then
we built this bar, and from there, yeah, everyone in the near vicinity was like, oh, Reg has built a bar. How handy.
proper pint, especially during COVID,
pint.
a proper pint is
Free
fantastic.
piss. Yeah, exactly. Oh, dear. How's your week been, all right?
Busy.
Yeah?
So in COVID, it's been really weird because I usually spend a lot of time on the road, and I haven't. However, this week has been almost normal. I've done about 900 miles.
Fucking hell.
Been to Wicken and to Scunthorpe. Can't stay in well, I don't want to stay in hotels, so some long 12, 13-hour days.
So you've been going up and coming back again?
Yeah, so I go out. Look, I don't book too much work in. I go out for a specific reason. So I'm not wasting the journey, and I try and avoid going up. But I've only got like an hour or two's worth of work to do at these sites, but it's something I can't do unless I'm there.
Remotely,
So it's a nice day out, to be honest. It's actually nice to be on the road. Usually I'd moan about it.
Are you getting quite accustomed to the price of, your average sandwich in a motorway service?
Mate, I am terrible. I eat so much fast food when I'm on the road. It's ridiculous. I like to complete the golden trio. So the McDonald's breakfast, right? This is on a real long day. It's usually if I'm staying over, to be fair. So McDonald's breakfast has to be done. Always.
Standard.
There's no get out of that. Then you do a KFC lunch because that's quite a filling a proper meal. I'm talking about fast food as if it's a proper meal. But KFC's filling.
Yeah, it's chicken, mate.
Yeah.
And deep
how
fried
much I love
chicken.
my chicken. And then if I'm feeling really naughty, you've got to finish it off with a Burger King, so you can hit all three in one day for
Fucking
every
hell.
meal.
What are you going for from Burger King? This is going to be the do or die for me, really.
I'm a chicken royale man.
Oh.
You having chicken from Burger King? What kind of... How dare you? How dare you, sir?
It's sacrilege, isn't it?
Fucking XL bacon double cheese,
It
baby.
Chodley will attest to the 24 chili cheese bites if you're feeling fruity as well.
Yeah.
What was it
And your asshole will be feeling fruity the next morning as
Yeah,
well.
that's the problem. I'm on these small hotel toilets that ain't no good.
The brush in for cleaning the bowls for pushing it down.
Yeah. You almost get a leg in there. But it's good. So yeah, I'm good. I know every service is. I know which ones to avoid, which ones to go to now, and that's really sad.
So where do you mainly go then across the country?
So obviously we're down in Somerset. It really depends week to week. I spend a lot of time in Derby.
Somebody has to.
It's Derby.
Mate, the vet will he'll love that.
Yeah. It's Derby, that's where the main office is. And then the main sites really are up in Scunthorpe. We've got a couple of places around there. So that's always an exciting dive.
An experience.
And then Runcorn, which is right next to Liverpool. So it's not glorious, nice areas. There's no nice places. It's big industrial.
We're getting so much hate in the comments right now.
Yeah.
Scunthorpe is an up-and-coming area.
Even the people that I go to see in Scunthorpe, even they admit it. They all live on the outskirts. They never live there.
Yeah, you don't want to live in the centre, yo.
Yeah.
Imagine going to see someone from America and saying, "Oh, where do you live?" Scunthorpe. They'd be like, "What?"
Whilst we're slating the UK, so me and Marlon, do you remember the trip ages ago to Slough?
I know what. Yeah.
And we group absolute passion of hate for Slough.
Fucking hell. We were going to pick up
Some Skittles.
Skittles.
Yeah, in that
Not like
littleness.
the chewy sweet thing, like genuine Skittles for a pub.
It's just
What a fucking
vibe, isn't it?
shithole.
So I think I found my new favourite place to hate. I went to Rotherham. And we all know what Tommy Robinson used to think of Rotherham with the scandal that went on there. But I drove through Rotherham for about 7 miles, and I'm thinking, it's got to get better in a minute. It's just abandoned building.
It's got to get better in a minute.
It's just abandoned building after abandoned building. And I'm thinking, something's got to change. And it doesn't. And if these blocks of flats aren't abandoned, I don't know if you really want to live there. It's
got to get better soon. It's got to get better soon. Then you see the sign that says, "You are now leaving Rotherham."
that pretty much was it. It's just like a main road through, and it was awful. I think you'd be safer in downtown Baghdad.
So what we haven't glanced even over. What do you do for a living?
So I do IT, and obviously with all the travelling, we've got sites all across the UK. So it's just general.
So
IT
you go in,
support.
smash the servers in, do a bit of wiring.
I mean, I don't want to give my secret away, but you just turn it off and on, really. Yeah. No, lots of stuff. Without going into too much detail, to be honest, I do anything that they need doing. There's only 2 of us in the UK. We've got 10 sites. We've got the help from the parent company, which is based over in Sweden. So technically, I work for Sweden, the Swedish government. So it's an interesting job, but it doesn't sound. It's just IT doesn't sound very exciting. It's just the places you get to go. It's big industrial areas.
I will admit, the moment anyone says IT, and this is no offence to you, my dick instantly just goes.
The job itself isn't exciting. It's the travel's the only thing that keeps it fresh.
I'm going to say
you'd
that.
just be sat there tapping away, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, with what I don't do, with what I do or don't do, I don't really travel too much with my job, and I always think that's something I would like to do is do a lot of traveling for work. But then people who I know that sort of tell me that they travel for a lot for work. I've got people in my family that do a hell of a lot of travelling, and they're like, "Oh yeah, well you just get to know the roads and fucking this and that, and all the traffic nowadays." And the people, I just think, "Oh God, is it really that bad?"
I don't mind it. Maybe I'm one of the weird ones. It gets, if you're doing a long week and you've been away all week, then it can be pretty draining, especially if you're living in and out of hotels, which you do sometimes. But I try to only do at the very most Tuesday to Thursday. So I'm not away Monday to Friday all week. But, I mean, I stick on a podcast, Joe Rogan shout out, or just play, a load of crap music.
Out from us.
No, we need a shout out from him, so if you're listening.
Hook us up, Joe.
But yeah, you can just chuck one of those on and lose yourself for 2 or 3 hours, or other podcasts are available.
TTG, baby.
or just some old music. You know, you've heard my shuffle, Marlon. It can be anything from Slipknot to S Club, and I'm down for either.
It's definitely a wide variety.
Yeah, but for me, it's a bit of a shut off time, and it's quite nice, and also you are getting paid to sit on a motorway and
listen to S Club 7.
get McDonald's, Burger King, and KFC in one day, which is
You banging that all on the expense card?
most of it. I couldn't deal with the guilt when accounts go, so what happened that day?
The thing is, they are, though, the reason you're there.
Well, yeah, there is budgets.
Fuck them.
Yeah. Oh, you have to get something out of it, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. And, well, a heart attack's one thing.
It's fine. I make myself feel better by booking a hotel with a gym and then going in there for half an hour.
Just pretend you're doing something.
Yeah, just,
Looking at some poontang.
sit on a cycling machine with my headphones on for half an hour.
That's gonna burn off one chili cheese bite.
Yeah.
Just 23 more to go.
I think the chili cheese bites burn themselves off. As well.
Yeah.
Burn Summit, I tell you that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chodley.
We've got to get them on at some point.
Yeah, no, I think we got them booked in. We'll have Rat and Fat on soon. You want to hit off with some questions? We got some questions for you.
Let's do some questions.
All right, this is quite a deep question.
Okay, right.
What does the sesh mean to you?
The sesh. The meaning of the sesh changes a lot over your lifetime. We're not that old. The sesh to begin with is going out at 18, going to the pub and probably going to a club and then at 3 o'clock. And then you get like peak sesh where it used to mean spending an awful lot of time just in absolute dives of places getting out of there when the sun is coming up, and you would class that as a good sesh if you make it out and the sun's up and the birds are chirping. But
I remember those late nights.
do you know what? To me, the sesh now is just having a right old good tear up with the boys. Just having a good catch up, and it's a good relief almost, isn't it? It's nice to.
That's why we call what we do every now and again the big blowout, don't we? Because it is just like, I mean, the blowout after all this is over is going to be ungodly.
We've got to do fucking like 3 days on a piss.
I am already planning what we are going to get up to.
Take a week off work.
The whole of the UK is just going to be off work. It's going to be disaster. Isn't it?
Well, I think there's a petition, isn't there, for the for Boris to give us a bank holiday.
Oh, it'd be carnage. I mean, it doesn't really matter for us. We're not going to be going in anyway. Most people, whether they've booked it off or not, the state they're going to get themselves into, they're not going to be functioning on a Monday.
I've already told my upper management that I will not be attending work on the Tuesday? That we're whatever it is, a lockdown ends on the 21st, subject to review. A little asterisk there.
Yeah. Assuming we don't fuck it up. But going by our it's basically relying on us behaving ourselves and. Going by past experience, we will definitely balls that up. It is
We're English, change, mate. We're fucking English.
Do you remember when he lifted the first lockdown and it said up to 30 people in a gathering? And like that Friday, I was like, right, piss up, boys, come on.
I do remember a certain party here.
There was a.
It was a legal party though.
It was a legal party.
I mean, even I think I wasn't with you boys when it first got announced that lockdown. Well, we knew it was coming the weekend before, didn't we? And every single person I knew went out and got absolutely leathered with all their mates. That's just what we do. If we give us an inch, we will take it.
That's absolutely right. And I think that's what the government have now realised. That's why there's such a space and such there's a months between these sort of parts to the lockdown and getting it lifted. And I think because they've realised if we say to them, you can have 6 people round, they will do that every night of the fucking week. We love a loophole. That's what we do. We're British.
So 6 people, isn't it?
Yeah, 6 people for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until it goes to 12 people. And then
everybody does like to stretch it as far as they can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right, well, I will take the next question. Next question is, what is your best cure for a hangover, Kirbz?
Do you know what? This is really simple and it sounds so easy. It's just to ignore it. It's just to get up and get on with it. You'll know, being an assassin, Reg, you have to go out and do that. Working for MI5, you have to sometimes you just have to get up and get on with it. And it feels horrendous to begin with, but you'll probably agree that once you've actually gone out, had some food, a bit of fresh air, you feel 10 times better anyway. If you sit at home, you're bad on a hangover.
Yeah.
Some days, I am debilitated and I'm stuck on the sofa. But I think if I do have something to do and I get up and get on with it, I'm good. I can function on it, or just drink more beer. That genuinely fixes it.
Yeah, that does help sometimes.
What makes you bad makes you better.
Yeah, that's true.
That is words of wisdom.
There you go, boys.
Yeah, find something you love and let it kill you.
Hey, you'll have a good time doing it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely on your wavelength on that one. I'm a great believer. I'd say with what I do for work, I have to get up. There's no two ways about it. Got to get on with what I've got to do. And I think that's
killing.
Stop giving the game away. No, I get up and I get on with it, and I think the more I work, the more I start moving, and it just fades away. And then when I get back home, it will hit me.
That's the problem. 5 o'clock comes, you sit on the sofa, you have a bite to eat, and then you start to die. But it's not as bad. It's not like it's a bit of a headache, but you're not going to be. If you've been out and done something, you're going to be tired anyway. So you can just chill for a little bit and go to bed or drink more.
Give me my dressing gown. Give me my blanket. Give me a dog.
You need a day on the sofa, mate.
Not moving.
Getting the blood pumping is the main thing, I think.
But yeah, Marlon's a good sleeper though. I will never forgive you for this. So this is when he was living with us. There was the norovirus going around, and it hit our house like a ton of bricks. Every hole we're coming out of, and we've all had it bad. And Marlon hadn't really had it, and then we get a text. It's here, and I was just so excited. I'm there, rubbing my hands together, saying, "Yes, this is going to be great." He's been taking the piss out of us the whole time, and he comes home. midday, goes to bed, and just doesn't wake up for about 48 hours and completely misses all the pain and tragedy that we went through.
Well, yeah, I finished like half day on Friday. The boss was like, "You ain't looking too clever."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I just bounced now. Got home, got into bed. Probably got up Sunday afternoon.
I just spent 24 hours sat on the toilet. And then he comes in and sleeps it off. I was just so annoyed. He just, and you do the same with a hangover, really, don't you? You'll sleep till 3, 4 in the afternoon if you need to.
Glastonbury, prime example.
Yeah. Oh God, you sleep in such a hot.
Getting in at fucking 2, 3, 4. I didn't get up till 2 in the afternoon.
And my body clock's just 6 o'clock. You're up.
That's it. You are fucking bang. Yeah. You are up.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
The pricing is at Glastonbury, I'm usually not getting in till 6, so I lie down for about 10 minutes and go, right, time to get back up and go.
Giving it the big chodley.
Yeah.
Let's have a fucking drink.
Donut and a warm Foster's for breakfast. Off we go.
I have missed that.
I think the only thing that tops a warm Foster's for disgustingness is a warm Carlsberg. Have you ever been unfortunate enough to have a warm Carlsberg?
I don't think Foster's is my warm drink of choice at Glastonbury because I can get that down quite easily because it is like piss water. It goes quite weak, so you can just neck it down. But I don't know. Maybe the older I get, and I just buy pints now. Or go to the Brothers Bar. Usually it would be like I fill my rucksack up and I won't buy a beer because I've got a rucksack full of beer. Whereas now I'm like, I'll be bougie. I'll just go and pay for beer.
Yeah, baby.
We are out here.
Get a fucking dollar bills out, yo. All right, question number 3. What's the most mental thing that's happened on a night out that you want to share with everyone listening?
Most mental thing.
That's out. That's out.
Yeah, I'm racking my brain and there's nothing really that I can say publicly without either being arrested or disowned by my parents who will be listening to this. I think probably just the general mentalness back in the day, and it still happens very occasionally, it's just coming home midday. the day after.
The day after.
That's where you know you've really overdone it and killed yourself, but I can't say anymore.
That's when you know the piss has been good.
You boys know.
Yeah, we know the score.
Yeah.
I think when you say, we often found when we went on holiday, when you're walking home from the club and you go into fast food joint, and we walked into a McDonald's and they were serving breakfast. Yeah. Can I get a double bacon extra cheese XL or whatever? And they're like, well, we can do some hash browns and an egg if you want. I'm like, oh, fuck. Sun's coming up.
Just
people
feel like utter scum as well.
People are doing their shopping. You're covered in UV paint, some stag do t-shirt, and it's just you just look like trash, and people are just like, oh, this is what's wrong with
Or
us.
if you've been to the foam parties back in the day,
and
you just look like a drowned piss rat going into McDonald's because you have to go to McDonald's when you're 18 and you've just come out of a club. Awful. The scenes.
Oh man. Anyway, you happy to have a beer in your hand, kicking back?
It's so nice to have a proper beer, a nice cold beer as well.
You have got a fridge though, haven't you?
I have, and it is literally only got alcohol in it because I'm not quite figuring out how to adult. Obviously, you boys know I bought the house last year in June, and I really haven't. I feel like I'm just squatting there sometimes. I haven't really accepted that I own a house and I'm a responsible adult yet. So I generally just buy snacks and beer. And with COVID, there's like, you're not allowed people around. So you're not like, I can't do a proper food shop yet. I use COVID as a bit of an excuse to get out. Your fucking proper food shop
will be terrible anyway.
I mean, it's just going to be a lot of chicken,
nuggets, beer.
And without the gym as well, because you can't go to the gym, I'm like, do you know what, fuck it. Rather than having something healthy, I can just have chicken nuggets or croissants or Pop-Tarts. And then you find that you can buy all the Pop-Tarts on Amazon, and then I start getting drunk and ordering all that stuff, and you've got to get through it.
Yeah, that's it. Got to be in, can't I go to waste?
Your shit must be fucking hideous. Fucking Pop-Tarts and chicken nuggets.
I mean, there's a few carbs in there somewhere.
Like you said, a fucking broom head mind.
Yeah.
Oh, like a well-rendered wall. That was what Keith said, wasn't it? Oh, man. You say you're no good at adulting, but when you first moved in, I came round for your sort of moving in party, and you're like, oh yeah, this is the robot hoover, and these are the smart lights, and this is the 75-inch TV. And I was like, well, you got your fucking priorities right, because you've got a fucking smart hoover, you've got someone to turn the lights off and turn the oven on by your phone, so you don't really need a missus now, do you?
Exactly. So people call it laziness. I call it efficiency.
You have like literally every smart thing.
So
going.
I mean, obviously, IT, a bit of a geek anyway. So I like all the techie stuff, and I always said when I eventually buy my own place, I want all the automated shit. So I bought the robot hoover, mate. Shout out, it's great. It's like
What is it?
It's a Eufy Robovac. Can't remember the make, but it's really good. Like when I had it, I was at mum's and we ran her hoover, and everybody knows that your parents always have a badass hoover.
Yeah.
And so she did hers, and I set it off around the living room, and it was still picking quite a lot more up. So it seemed to be doing a better job than that.
So it's not just a fucking gimmick.
No, it's actually quite good. And you can set it on your schedule, so you don't even have to worry about it. You just need to empty it and clean the filters. It's great. And with the lights and stuff, you know, I always wanted the smart lighting. I love all that stuff.
Alexa, turn the lights on.
Yeah, all the lights, bar the toilet lights, are on Alexa, and the toilet lights are now changed to motion detectors. So when you just walk into the toilet, it just comes on.
I like that.
It's great.
I do like that.
It catches you out in the shower a little bit because it's just in the main portion of the bathroom, not over the shower.
Yeah.
So you sometimes doing your business in the shower, and then the lights go off. And the first couple of times you have to remember that the house isn't haunted. It's just you've bought a motion sensor light and forgot about it.
I just want to roll back about 3 sentences there when you said doing your business in the shower. Now I can deduce 3 things from that. You are washing, you are doing the other with the right hand, or you are squatting down and waffle stomping down the drain.
It's
just
waffle stomp.
the waffle stomp.
It's obviously washing the hair.
That was a big
Got
concern.
some
I mean, it's always
bad
scary.
bitch in the shower, yo.
Yeah, I'll wear glasses. It's always scary in the shower anyway because you can't see. And when the lights start flickering, you know,
Might be a ghost.
you forget.
Man, speaking about glasses, I'm going to run off on a tangent here, right? Little story from the week. So I'm turning ratchets on the project I got going at the moment, and I'm on a radius arm bush, and I'm leaning on this ratchet as hard as I can to get this fucking bolt undone. And I'm leaning, I'm pulling. I've got my arm round the fucking tower of the ramp, and I'm pulling, and all of a sudden, king! No, even better than that. The rubber handle of the ratchet slides off, and I punch myself in the face.
What kind of puffy spec ratchet you got going on?
Draper expert, you know how it is.
Oh, shit.
So I punched myself in the face, and I'm dazed and confused for a couple of minutes, and I a few seconds, and I open my eyes, and my vision's all out of focus. And I'm like, what the fuck's happened here? I'm like, shit, have I just fucking like really hurt myself with this ratchet? Turns out I'm looking, like, man, one eye is really out of focus. I take my glasses off. I've just hit a lens clean out of my glasses.
We've all done. Anyone with glasses knows this situation. When you hit yourself, or you get hit, or you walk into something, especially if you've had a beer, you have to do a couple of checks. You know, the normal ones that normal people do is you check, make sure no blood. Am I all right? We have to make sure we can see.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you're not sure whether you're concussed, you've lost your glasses, a lens has come out, and then you're like, oh shit, if I have hit him, how much does that cost? Because these things ain't cheap.
That's it, yeah. And then I've from there, I sort of, you know, I'm doing the non, you know, no glasses shuffle on the floor, trying to find the lens. And I was like, I couldn't get it back in because there's a little band underneath that snapped. So I was like, well, how am I going to get this fucking lens back into the top of the frame? So I decided that probably the best thing is to put it in the vise.
Oh, no.
Put the lens and the glasses in the vise. And it's a great big 9-inch jaw vise. And I'm tightening it. And it just clink. And I'm like, oh, finally it's gone in. And it did go in. However, I don't know if you can see. This is going to be great for the audio listeners. I don't know where it is. Somewhere around here, I've knocked a great big chunk out of the corner.
I can see the chunk. To confirm, I can see the chunk.
So go to the opticians today, and I'm like, explain that I've inadvertently punched myself in the face.
And I put my glasses in a vice.
She was like, oh, that's amazing. How's that still in there? I was like, I put them in a vice and just tightened it up. And she looked at me like, you animal. There I am covered in oil and shit.
They look at you in disgust, but they're not shocked because they've been through this.
They've done it all before, exactly. And I sort of said, well, is there any chance you could? And they were like, no, nothing. Pretty much nothing we can do. I was like, oh, okay.
I think they've lost the art of repairing glasses now.
I think they have.
just wanna replace.
It's a throwaway culture we live in,
Yeah.
definitely.
I woke up, put mine on, and only one arm went on. And usually, you know,
one arm still on the bedside table.
Screw. It really is a tiny little screw. And I said, oh, can you fix that? And they said, we got to send them off for 2 weeks. I'm like, oh.
You are kidding.
So I'm on a spare pair, you know, basically blind for 2 weeks. But usually, I swear, when I was younger, they would just stick a screw in it. They would just fix it.
Well, everything now is...
If it breaks, it's dead.
It's all white goods.
That's it. Like, our washing machine? Was it a washing machine? I think it's a washing machine. She deals with all that. But it died. It was 4 years old-ish. I mean, I don't mind buying a new one. Add a bloke round. Yeah, no, can't repair it. Even if he does repair it, in a few months' time, someone else will break. We'll be in the same position. Buy a new one.
An economical repair.
Yeah,
it's like an insurance job on your microwave, on your washing machine, isn't it?
I took the top off it because I think maybe bearing or something had gone wrong inside it. So I'm like, fuck me, I'm a mechanic. I can take this shit apart. Open the top of it, can't see nothing. Drums sealed. Nah, fuck that. Call someone.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's a really boring conversation now, isn't it? Well, my dishwasher broke down. It's the one we bought with the house, and I was on a. I don't know. I go through these phases of like doing certain things, and I was going through a phase of I'm not fucking buying anything. Fucking hell! Back in the war, it was make do amend. I'm gonna make do amend with this.
Is that when you put your hoover on juice?
I rebuilt the hoover. That's 30 years old. I rebuilt that from the ground up, and then I was like, right. I'm going to rebuild this fucking washing machine. So I'm that sad, right? It started flashing a load of lights and, you know, mechanically minded like we are, it flashed lights in a certain sequence. I'm thinking that's a fault code. So I Google the fault code for my dishwasher. God. So sad.
What an evening that must have been.
Oh, it is. Honestly, if you were to spend any time in my house, you'd be shocked. It's mad what we talk about.
It all goes on in there.
So I'm like, right, Google the fault code, finds out the heater has gone wrong in it. It's just cold washing everything. So the dishwasher's out on the floor on its side. I've pulled the fucking guts out of it. They're all strewn across the floor. Buy this part, and of course it won't fit. Because it's a generic made in China, doesn't really fucking fit. And
China
to fit.
I couldn't get these two pieces to fit together, and I was like, right, there's one way to do this. I start one in boiling water. And
Did you put it in a fucking vice?
I start one half in boiling water, and I start one half in a fucking freezer.
Yeah.
And then, my God, I screwed it back together, chucked it back in. My missus was on to AO, like, as I was doing this, because she knew that I'm an idiot.
I'm ordering a new one!
She was willing to spend 300 quid on it with a £20 part from eBay. Slamming it back together, and fucking job done.
See,
save myself 300 quid.
You're the last of a generation because I'm definitely part of the white goods generation. Something like that, nope. I'd just buy a new one.
Yeah,
I just won't get involved in it.
Now, taking the last one apart, then before I'd taken the dishwasher apart, they're cheap. Just buy a fucking new one.
I mean, my limit of if it doesn't work, I'll unscrew it all, and then I'll go. Don't know what that does. Screw it back together, and hopefully at some point it's usually a simple wire. Hopefully at some point in that process it'll work. I did fix a hoover by doing that exact thing. I took it all apart, unscrewed it all, put it back together, did absolutely nothing, and it works. That was not the robot hoover. I won't touch that. She's a gem.
They got people in factories to do that.
Yeah. Probably small children in China to do that.
That's not a cheap hoover, I expect.
Not that we agree with that.
No, of course not. I think it was about 250-ish.
That is a cheap hoover.
But it's not bad. By all accounts, you go for a top-end Dyson, you're looking at more.
Yeah, fucking hell. She insisted on buying a fucking G-Tech this time.
Right.
After it went to like 350 quid. I stopped asking. She's like, oh, should we get this attachment or that attachment? I'm like, I just don't care.
It's just, I mean, the only thing with the robot stuff is it doesn't do stairs. It doesn't fall down the stairs. I have tested it. It was very nerve-wracking. I'm waiting for the day if I put it upstairs, I'll come down. It'll sound like the start of EastEnders. And then the hoover will be at the bottom. It's eaten lots of cables and T-shirts. I've shown you, so you have to make sure the floor is clear. So if there's an iPhone cable out, it will eat it, and then it will send you a message on my phone saying, I'm stuck.
Help me!
Help. And you go in to see it's like got half a t-shirt and a cable inside, which has happened the first few times. So
it's fucking funny.
It trains you to keep your house tidy.
You wait, yeah. Kirbz, I'm ever so sorry. I've eaten your firstborn.
That £20 note you left on the floor.
It has also chased me out the front door. So I was loading some stuff into the car, I had the hoover going, and it will get over small steps. So it was going in that direction. I opened the door, and it just carried on. Off it goes down the drive.
Ta-ra, see you later.
She was on an adventure. so I've got a really clean line on the front of my drive now.
I'm going to fucking war.
Have you ever watched Toy Soldiers?
Yes.
I've got a fear of shit like that. It might come to life at some point.
Oh, God, my house would be ridiculous, the amount of crap I've got in it.
What is it? What's the quote from that film? Everything else is just a toy.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones, isn't it? Who is the main voice actor for that. Fantastic film. Absolutely fantastic, Small Soldiers. What was that, like late 90s? Must be.
It was a kids' film. It was quite a brutal one.
It was, yeah.
It felt like that shouldn't have been a kids' film.
People firing fire across the yards, yo.
It is essentially killing and death. They just can get away with it because, don't worry, it's a toy.
Like, you watch any of some of these films back now, like, have you ever watched Shrek back as an adult?
Not really.
Donkey!
The amount of innuendo in that film is obscene.
No, yeah,
I think it was probably made for the younger generation as well as
that's the thing is, it's
the parents watching sort of thing.
The thing is, it's quite clever, isn't it? Because the adverts are for kids. Oh, mum, dad, please, let's go see Shrek. They go see Shrek, and the parents can laugh at all the innuendos, and then, you know, their friends are going to say, oh, my kids want to go see Shrek. The parents are going to go, actually, it's a really funny film, because there's a lot of stuff the kids won't understand. Because, you know, the little fucking Hitler in that, what's his name? Lord
Farquaad.
Farquaad.
Yeah, Farquaad. It's fuckwad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never realised that.
If you rewatch all the children's films, you'll realise that they're actually disgusting. But yeah, they've got to make it entertaining. The parents are just going to...
Grease.
Grease is disgusting.
No, not disgusting. But no. Have you listened back to that the song, the main song from Grease, where, you know, Sandy and Danny finally they not realise they go to the same school, but they do that little song when they're like,
we talking How was your
summer, Danny?
Well, even like the chicks will cream for Grease Lightning.
Yeah,
yeah.
What a line!
I used to sing that in the car as a kid.
Yeah,
now I think bloody hell. And what's he saying? So we went. What was it? We went bowling down in the sand. He's giving it the old finger motion, like, you know,
fucking keen. Or
what gets me most about that film is that they're all like in their late 20s to early 30s, and they're all meant to be playing like seniors, which are 18 years old, and watching it back, you're just like, you know,
it's very creepy with a man that's basically got full like 4 o'clock stubble, trying to play a 16 to 18
he's probably shaving 3 times a day during filming to make himself look younger.
What a fucking brilliant film, though.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely
classic.
I was thinking about getting some overhead lifters and some 4-barrel carbs. Oh yeah.
That's it, when he comes swinging in on that engine crane with a great big chrome block, and they just drop it in, somebody turns a wrench, and it's just gone.
I think that's how Marlon pictures it when he's out there tinkering in the garage.
Nobody's fucking timed the fucking distributor up or nothing. Just runs.
It just runs.
That shit don't happen.
Does that infuriate you seeing that stuff?
Oh, some of the stuff you see, like, especially in films, maybe soaps. Coronation Street, that's a fucking bad one. I always remember when she used to watch it.
Is it in general? It is bad. I'll agree.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Usually I would argue, but I'm off it. I'm clear of Coronation Street now. I'm proud to tell everyone.
How many weeks clean are you?
I'm about 6 months out.
You're weaning yourself off with a bit of Hollyoaks, like.
Don't get me started.
Damn you, Mercedes. Woo!
There was in Webster's Autos, was it?
Yeah.
The garage. Big fucking sign, clutches while you wait. What a fucking ridiculous statement.
Have you ever thought maybe they're just really good?
No. Just a clutch is going to take you 4 or 5 hours on a nice, easy thing. Maybe Saxo-wise, you'll cut that in half.
I mean, you could wait.
No. Fuck off. Get out of the office. Go away. Drop your car off. Go away.
But they all work next door in the factory stitching knickers anyway. I know the layout.
Well, yeah, but why have they got a fucking car then? And they all live on the same fucking street.
Because at the end of the year, they have to crash it and make a big deal out of it. That's why they have cars.
Just...
You have to have a Christmas special and it has to have a car crash or a train wreck or
somebody
something
dies.
like that.
Yeah.
That's a good little caveat. I'm going to talk about cars now. And everyone who's listening that doesn't like cars is going to groan like fuck.
Give us half an hour.
Right,
Yeah, you might want to fast forward for the next 20 minutes to half hour.
We know you like your cars.
Yes. It's an odd selection.
It's, yeah, to say the least.
So I just bought an Audi TT. I'm not sure if I know I told Marlon because I'm still yet to get the bad news from him. Every time I buy a car, I go, Marlon, I need you to give it the once over to see how bad it is. I think this one's all right. It seems to be okay. You had a quick look.
Yeah, I had a quick look around. It looks pretty tidy.
Got a bit of a bargain on that.
Marlon said it's the 18225.
Yeah,
225
BAM
engine.
engined.
Oh.
It makes, do you know what? It's the first car in a long time. You remember when you were like 18, 19 and you buy a new car and you're really excited. You just want to go out and drive just for no reason.
Yeah.
I've got that feeling again because it makes cool turbo noises. It's quite quick. It's fun. And I've been driving around. I've got a BMW X5, which is not fun, but it does everything you need it to. It's, Reg will understand with the Range Rovers, it does what you need it to, although his has got a pumping V8, mine's not.
Has some dirty ass diesel motor.
Generally 90% of the time you're just cruising around in the Beamer, but it's just boring driving it normally. And I like stupid stuff and I like to have fun.
You do like stupid stuff.
I mean, where do we start?
Just quickly before you go into that. Obviously, with everything being shut during COVID, and now you owning a TT, is there any chance you could sort me out a nice sick fade at all? What with your newfound hairdressing skills?
I can help.
I mean, I've
just bought some new clippers, so we can do a number 2 all over. Or if you trust me with clippers, then I'll go.
Fade. My hair is getting out of control.
I mean, how bad is it now? I've not seen it in a while. Is it?
I would take it off, but I've got to take the headphones off, my hat off. I'll show you later.
Is it like nearly a foot of fro?
Oh, mate, it's hideous.
It just goes out as well, Marlon. It looks like he's been electrocuted constantly.
Yeah. It's getting to the point now, there's no point in putting anything on it to try and tame it.
You remember Marty from Home Alone?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he sticks his when Kevin electrocutes him.
Yeah.
if he kind of pulls out with his fingers a little bit, just the old wire brush. Yeah, it's just like that.
I mean, to be fair, I managed to grow a beard in lockdown, which I'd never tried. It's not too long at the moment because it's been trimmed by myself.
Oh,
but I actually realised that I hit puberty at 28, which is great.
Woo!
And I grew. I think it would be classed as a beard, which was fun. Never thought I'd hit that point in my life. So where do we start with the cars?
Well, I got a question first.
All right.
What is one car that you wish you never sold? I think I know the answer.
The wish I never sold?
I think it might be the Judge.
It would be the Judge because it was... So the Judge, for everybody listening, was my third car, second proper one. It was a Honda Civic Coupe. It was bright blue, had a massive exhaust, had pink wheels. It was loud as anything, obnoxious as anything, and it was an absolute Asbo car. And I was pulled over every single week that I owned it. I owned it for a year, and every single week I was pulled over at least once without fail, and rightly so. Had all the gay stickers on it.
Just for having those wheels on, by the sounds of it.
It was like genuine budget Fast and Furious.
Oh,
it was awful, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And I guess we're all probably the same. You look back and you sell it, and I sold it for £700 or something, and
now
I should have just kept it. It's not worth anything now. It's just for nostalgia's sake because it was hilarious and it was just so obnoxious, and I like annoying people, and it was the perfect car.
That's it. But back in the day, like 700 quid.
That's a lot of money.
Yes, yeah.
It's still a lot of money nowadays, but
But like now you're in a position where you've got a house. You're a lot better off than you were.
Yeah, your budget.
You look at some of the stuff which you've sold. No, I should have just fucking kept it.
Yeah, I mean the only other one which I never managed to sell is the Vauxhall Omegas. You love one. You know I love an Omega.
Yeah,
best cars in the world, 100%.
They are tanks.
It was amazing. I've had two. They were both £400 or £500. They're 2.5 litre V6, not fast. rear-wheel drive, and you can absolutely drive the ass off them, and you can push them right to the limit, which isn't very far, but that's the fun of driving. If you were to get into a Nissan GTR, don't get me wrong, it'd be really fun. You're never going to get close to the limit because you're not a professional driver, and if you do, and if you have a whoopsie, you're dead.
Normal roads.
Yeah. Whereas the Omega, you could completely legally push it right to the limit. Go flat out
because it had no power.
Yeah, and it's hilarious spinning one round. And also, at the time, all of our mates had crap cars, so there's nothing funnier than coming up to a set of red lights and just smashing straight into the back of them and pushing them straight through it. It's just the fun of dicking around, isn't it? It takes you back to your first days of driving where you're all in little hatchbacks just out for the fun of it.
I was thinking about my first car earlier because I was talking to someone. I kind of reminiscing a little bit.
What were you, a Saxo?
Yeah, I had a 1.1.
Nice.
Saxo. 3-stud, mind.
Nice.
Had the spoiler in it, I had. By the time I'd finished with it, we had two 12-inch subs in the back and a 10. There were 3 6x9s on a parcel shelf, 2 6x9s in the rear quarters, and then 2 like 17cm components in it. What a fucking weapon!
That's what it was about though back in the day, wasn't it? About fitting as many speakers into as small a car as you possibly can.
Big ass green neon lights behind the grille.
It was a cool time. It was a fun
fucking weapon.
Well. It was a fun time.
It was. I do miss spending nothing.
Yeah.
On shit.
And I don't think kids are doing it nowadays. I mean,
everything seems to be finance.
Yeah, well, this is back to the white goods things, though. We all probably...
Another riveting topic we've covered on this podcast.
Do you remember when you were insuring it, you were buying your first car, you bought a £400, £500 car, and then it was £2,000 for insurance?
Yeah.
You can now get a Corsa on finance for less than £200 a month, which is what you'd have paid for your insurance.
Yeah.
In a brand new car, you'd be stupid not to.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I think my Saxo, I bought that for £6,500. Insurance was something like £1,200.
Yeah, that was cheap.
Yeah, I should say, one of my cousins paid nearly £3,000 for a Fiesta 1.3 Mark IV, I think.
I was just over £2,000 for a 1.2 Clio.
Jesus.
Fuck.
And yeah, I mean, I was lucky, you know. I don't know how people paid back in the day. I guess parents. I had a job from 16, and I thought I was the richest person in the world. I was earning £14,500 a year, and I could have, you know, I could afford that then. But everybody that went to college, how the hell would you get £200 a month just for insurance and then fuel?
Yeah. And then your tax, and if it breaks, because it will break.
I mean, breaking at that age, the cars are so rubbish. You just try and do it. You know, we all probably spent most of our time down the scrapyard buying.
Oh yeah,
I miss that as well.
The local breakers yard. Go down there and you'd be pulling bits off, and you'd be, you know, trying to find some really tiny expensive switch and pull that out. This is what we've got. Oh yeah, about £5.
That'd be a good day out.
It would be. It would.
It was a great day out.
I missed my first car, man. I had a Lupo.
Nice. I always wanted one of them.
I had a Lupo Sport, and it was the one with the. I was hell bent. Because it's a bit of a weird story. We, my family, when I was younger, we all went on holiday, and we walked down this very, very, really backwater little, you know, wooded area.
Yeah.
And there was a little house in this wooded area, and in this sort of area was a tiny little garage, and it was open face, and there was a bright green Fantasia Lupo, and it had a for sale sticker on it, and it was covered in mould, and no one had ever looked at this car. Of course, my old man goes in, how much you want for that car then? Anyway, my old man buys a car on holiday.
Covered in moss.
Covered in moss. Done like 40,000 miles or something stupid. I can't remember how much you paid for it, but it was pennies, and he was like, that's your first car. And it was bright green, and it was 1 litre, and I said, absolutely fucking not. I had my own money at this point. And I said, he was always of the opinion, you buy your own car, you buy your own car, you buy your own car. And he says, I've bought you a car. And I was like, it's very kind of you, Dad, and I very much appreciate that. But it's bright fucking green. It's a 1 litre. It's got Steelies. Ew.
Basic ass bitch game.
But what came from that was I did sort of fall in love with the idea of the Lupo. It was small, it was compact, and then I found out they did a GTI version.
Yes.
1.6, 125 brake horsepower, 6-speed with leather seats, and that thing was absolutely stunning. But
They were cool little things. I did hear on the other podcast you were looking at one as well.
I still am looking. But
have we bailed
Did that
on
one
yet?
did that one sell?
No, it didn't. It didn't hit reserve, so I've still got my eye on it. But yeah, so I sort of fell in love with the idea of a Lupo, and then I found out they did a Lupo Sport, which was, it was a 1.4, and it had a 100 brake horsepower engine.
Which was a lot back in the day.
It was. It really. I mean, it didn't really shift, but it went fast for what it was—a tiny little car. Yeah. And I fell in love with having one of these. So I sent when my old man went out to buy another Range Rover, he stopped off on the way and picked up my little Lupo for me. And it was an immaculate example. It'd done 50,000 miles. It was spotless all the way around. And I can say absolutely, wholeheartedly, I fucking ruined that car.
I think that's fair to say. We all did that on our first car.
I cut the cat out of it. I cut the back box out of it. Put this cussing great bean can on the back. I put a boot build in it.
Hell yeah, got it.
Yeah, filled the back full of LPG tanks because we had LPG tanks where we lived at the time. So it ran on 50 pence a litre of fuel. I put this cussing great sub in there, this great big JBL GTO amp that was all backlit. And, you lift the boot and it was proper Fast and Furious. Need for Speed Underground 2. You had this great big sub. It was.
I bet you thought you were King Dick.
I did, and I earthed the amp to the LPG tanks.
God. So at this point, you're a mobile bomb.
And then, of course, because the car was red and the seats were red, they had like this special red interior that it had. I obviously had to put a red light as the interior light. So every time you clicked it on and I had a bird in the passenger seat, it was like, it looked like a fucking knocking shot. Come on into Reg's Lupo and
what's my name, bitch?
Oh, them seats were stained. Oh, dear.
No leather wipe off back in those days.
Maybe I like it raw.
Oh, fucking hell. So yeah, what'd you buy after the Judge?
So it all gets very confusing. So I had the Judge, then I got into the drifting stuff. So the first thing you buy is an MX-5. That's a story in itself.
Car.
Yeah, it's very hairdressery. So that was okay, but I put it on coilovers, and they said, "How low do you want it?" I said, "Well, I want it as low as it can go," and they did that. I couldn't even get over a Coke can that was lying down. I would be all over that and drag it down the roads. Hubcaps, anything like that, I would drag them down the road. So it was unusable. And then
you got pulled over as well. Did you get a Section 59 in that?
So there's a good story about it. So I had a welded diff. So that locks the rear wheels. So it makes you skid around. That wasn't comfortable with zero suspension because you're just constantly juddering when you're going around the corner. So I went out one night by myself, thought it's quiet, it's wet, went up to a local roundabout, thought I'm really good. I've been learning to drift. On small roundabouts, I thought I've been learning to drift. I can do donuts and stuff. So I absolutely sent it round this big roundabout. And, to me, it felt like I was DK in Fast and Furious. And I'm pretty sure it looked close. And I come off the roundabout and I just see these headlights coming onto the roundabout, and then instantly they're behind me.
Whoop, whoop.
Lights go on, unmarked police car. Poo is everywhere in the car. At this point, I've just been caught. So it's a female copper and a male. The female was clearly learning. She was kind of following his lead, and he let her run with it. So I am just sucking his dick, basically. I'm so sorry.
I thought you were going to say you turned on the charm with the woman. No, I just went straight.
Hey, baby girl.
You know me.
just taking length.
So I said, I'm so sorry. It just slipped out, but it just slipped out from underneath. It was rear wheel drive. First time he said, "Mate, we just watched you go round there twice." I said, "All right, fair enough." And I said, I didn't use my car for work at the time. Well, only to drive, but I wasn't travelling. So I said, I use it for work, trying to get out of everything, because he initially said he's going to do me for dangerous driving and give me points. And then it went down to Section 59. Anyway, I literally sat in the back of this Beamer, shitting myself, begging, basically. And they said
Don't
they were
send me to jail!
Yeah, because I just caught red-handed, didn't really... Although in the Judge I was pulled over multiple times, I was actually legal. Whereas this time I was caught red-handed. So and I got away with it. They said they were going to send me a Section 59, so I spent the next month going through all the posts before Mum and Dad could get to it. So I didn't get caught.
Those are the days, man. Those are the days.
Yeah. We've all been through that point, and we would have been pulled over and waiting for a letter. So yeah, got away with that. So that's the MX-5. Then I bought a 330 Beamer E46. Boring.
Really? Oh, see, that was when I had my first car. A friend of mine had a 330 and now E46, and I wanted one so badly. What's so boring about them?
So at that time, I was going. Yeah, I wanted rear-wheel drive. I wanted at that point in your life, it's all about power as well, and that was the most powerful thing I could buy that I could insure at the time. I think it was 19 or 20. And it was I was trying to get an S14, but I couldn't find one.
I remember that because you went to look at one.
Yeah, we went to Birmingham
with
a friend and had to make a quick exit because we made a ridiculous offer on this car because it was hanging and got surrounded by some
people in Birmingham are like.
Yeah, got surrounded by some unwanted people and we basically ran and escaped. So I bought the Beamer and it was great. It was 230 horsepower. It was fun.
It was clean. It was very clean.
Yeah, until it got paint strippered.
Oh, fuck yeah. I forgot about
someone got that. Never found out who did that, but I think it was... I don't know. I don't even care now, to be fair.
Yeah.
Water under the bridge.
But it did everything really well, but it just had no character. It was really, really boring. There was just no fun. Yeah. There was no pizzazz or anything like that. Yeah, it just did everything quite okay. So it was an okay car. And this is where it gets confusing because I can't really remember what happened. That was when I started buying. I think at one point I had an Omega on the go, a Vitara, a K10 Micra, 1 litre of pure fury.
Oh, yes. Love a K10 Micra.
Ah, mate. So this is when I was just buying crap because I got to a point where I realised, I wasn't interested in power. I realised I can insure anything now. And I've got a little bit of money and I realised that you can buy lots and lots of crap for like between £500 to £1,000. So I just started pummeling through rubbish. The Vitaras are cool. That was a big 4x4. That the race truck we called it.
Yeah.
2 litre V6. Sounded
no exhaust.
Insane.
2 litre V6.
Yes.
How small are those pistons?
They're tiny.
Very, very small.
Japanese is sufficient.
That was a good little truck. It had the biggest tyres. I think I went through 4 or 5 sets of tyres.
Yeah, that's because you kept buying Chinese tyres.
Kept buying Chinese tyres. They kept getting holes in them, but they would replace them. And they were like £40 a corner, and they were great big mud pluggers. It never got stuck.
No.
I didn't even have to go into 4-wheel drive in most places. And then we nearly killed that at Salisbury. We came back.
You ended up punching both of the top mounts out of it.
Yeah, apparently that's quite an impressive thing to do.
Was it were the towers rusted or?
No,
it was clean.
you got your top mount rubber.
Yeah.
Both of them punched through.
That is no. How hard did you come down on the front end?
Fucking jump.
Oh yeah, I was doing jumps. If you're going to go off-roading, you got to kill it. So luckily it had a strut
go hard
brace.
to go home, yo.
So they punched so hard into the strut brace. It did it in Salisbury. Then I drove, Salisbury, 60 miles-ish?
Yeah, something like that.
I think something like that. So I drove 60 miles with 2 top mounts just hanging out the top. They just punched themselves so hard into the strut brace.
It's knocking a little bit. Marlon, it's knocking a little bit.
Yeah. It was solid. They weren't moving though. They were stuck in there.
Yeah.
I think it was only running on 3 cylinders because I got a bit of water in it. Probably that was where the top mounts went through. I'd jump it and land in a puddle. So that was cool. Then obviously the Omegas, the £400 shitters, just don't care about it. Just go wild. Then I bought the Chaser, the import. Somewhere along the line.
What a stunning vehicle that was.
How did that even come about?
So I was saving up for one anyway. Then I got made redundant and I realised that I can buy one of those without spending too much of the redundancy money, and I found another job anyway. So I started looking online, and I like quirky stuff. I don't like
your normal run-of-the-mill.
Yeah.
You want something nobody even knows what the fuck it is.
Yeah, that's it. So I started looking, and I thought, Chaser, that's the one. So I'm looking at all the import. This is when imports were actually feasible. So I started looking, found this one, and it had done 42,000 miles. The company that was selling it, they basically went on a trip to Japan to find some cars, saw this Chaser in the garage, thought it was so clean, so they bought it there and then, and they were going to import it over for themselves. And then I made him an offer and bought it while it was on a boat somewhere in the sea. And it was quite a scary moment when you spent more money. I think I paid half first, and that was more money than I'd ever spent on a car.
And you hadn't even fucking seen it.
I didn't even see any pictures bar what they had in Japan. So it was.
You're basically buying it so unseen.
Yeah, completely unseen. I'm just going from what they say. You know,
and probably the most money you've spent. You know, if not the most money you've spent in your life on a single thing, and you've never seen what you're buying.
Yeah, that was it. So I did that, and it worked out all right. It was really, really clean. 1JZ, that's all you need to know.
Oh, shit.
Manual, R154 gearbox, if that means anything to someone. That's the boy. And it was really cool, and it was fast. So I had that for a couple of years, and we've all done weddings with all of our cars in that, because you had the Evo and the Range.
Yeah, we did some weddings.
Did some weddings,
was that the wedding where everyone did a burnout as they left, apart from me?
And me.
Yeah. And
we were four-wheel drive.
Four-wheel drive, bitches. I ain't breaking a drive train on that.
But even you managed to make noise when you were leaving. I just made like a... That was about it.
Yeah, it was like the Asbo crew and then the four-wheel drive boys at the back.
That's it, because the blue VXR was there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that thing was so loud.
Let's go, baby.
So, yeah. And then also got rid of that and bought a house. To be honest, I didn't... The Chaser was great to begin with, though, but I did find it it was too scary because it was so much money.
That's it, mate. Same as Evo.
Yeah, you can't drive them fast on a public road. I didn't want to
leave it anywhere.
Yeah, it was a burden by the end of it. So got rid of that, made money because it was an import, and imports just going up and up. And then I'm in a sensible BMW, and then I bought a stupid Audi TT hairdresser's car. Well, actually, I bought an MX-5 and then swapped that for an Audi TT. I got a bargain on that. Absolutely ripped the guy off, basically. He said he'll take part exchange against this Audi. It was up for cheap anyway. So I sent him a message about the MX-5, told him the truth, you know, there's no point lying, went and met him, and he said, I do not want the MX-5. Anyway, 10 minutes of some tough negotiation later, he takes the MX-5.
The negotiation king, I must admit.
I really enjoy negotiating, especially when I just don't give a fuck, really.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't care, then it doesn't matter.
That's it. At the end of the day, you're not that arsed if you get it or not.
Yeah, the Audi I was actually quite gutted because I really wanted one. I was looking for a track car.
You really wanted a TT?
Well, so it came about as I wanted to go on track because all you boys have been doing the track day stuff, and I bought the MX-5 for that, then swiftly realised that I don't fit in an MX-5 with a helmet, and you want a roll cage really, because just in case, and I just don't fit.
But do you really need a helmet if you look a helmet?
Well, there's the thing. So I remember back to Gran Turismo 1, the only car that I could drive was the Audi TT because it was four-wheel drive and we didn't understand how rear-wheel drive works, so you would just face the opposite way.
Oh, was that on Gran Turismo 4?
Yes, it was always the starting car.
Absolutely agree with you, because when I used to do that, on Gran Turismo, I found I could never drive anything well on that apart from the R32 Golf.
Yeah, it had to be four-wheel drive.
Exactly the same drivetrain system. It was four-wheel drive, and you throw it into a corner and it just stuck.
Yeah, because we didn't understand what rear-wheel drive and front-wheel drive were. Front-wheel drive, all I knew is if the wheels at the front, I couldn't turn. If the wheels were at the back, I'd turn too much. And if the wheels were on all four corners, then I could actually race. So I've always had a bit of a love for those. So I kind of decided on Saturday I was going to buy one and picked one up on Thursday. So yeah, it's cool.
So you've bought a 1 3/4 ton track car.
Yeah, it's got some power. Yeah, I'll get it remapped. I'll have a play, and if you start taking the piss at me on track, I'll take you out.
T-bone bitches.
Just a nice side swipe.
You ain't even better keep up with me.
In the $5,000 172 Clio, is it, or 182 Clio?
It's actually 182. Let's get it right.
I'll get you in the pits. It's fine. I'll pit maneuver you in the pits.
I'm fucking changing tyres, and you're like, right.
Just Audi TT,
Yeet.
boom, straight in the side of it.
So
catch me outside. How about that?
Said that you sold the Chaser to obviously go on and buy a house. Obviously, you're a single bloke. You've bought a house on your own. That is no small feat. in this day and age, because like our parents would say, like, oh, you know, I bought a house by the time I was this, and I paid the thing off, and this is back when houses cost like £6 in a Freddo bar.
Yeah, it was like double your annual wage, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So tell us a bit more about that, about how the fuck you basically did it. Really,
I just kind of said to myself a couple of years ago that I needed to move out.
Had a stern talk with yourself, right?
And I was just like, and to be honest, I've always been quite good with savings. I've never been in debt or anything. So I just started saving. And even, I earn a pretty good wage for around here. I still cannot buy a house or 100% to myself. It had to be the part help to buy. So I own 50%. I can buy more of it when I want to, but that's the only way that anybody by themselves or even as a couple is really going to get into a property.
Yeah,
unless you're going to be,
unless you put hella deposit down.
Yeah, unless you're going to be helped out with your deposit by you know, parent. And there are people out there who have saved, couples that have saved religiously for multiple years and smacked their deposit down themselves.
Yeah,
but I mean, they are few and far between.
It's still. I had a pretty chunky deposit, and I still couldn't get much. Just because house prices are so expensive. You know, for a flat, it's like over 100 grand, and it's 4.5 times your wages now, so do the maths.
Yeah.
Anyone listening in the north is now going to be thinking, fucking snobs.
Yeah. It's not hard, but it's been weird moving into a house in COVID, because obviously when we were allowed people round, I had a couple of people round, but I think it was when it was a rule of 6, because I missed the initial ones.
Yeah.
So I've not really had the proper housewarming or anything. So June 21st, boys.
Holla, bling, bling.
As easy. I'm literally a stone throw away from where we are now, so we can have some pretty mega parties.
Well, what we'll do is we'll just I'll buy 100 meters of beer line, and I'll just run it off the draft system up here. Just drill a hole straight into your wall. And we're just there you go, job done.
So yeah, it's been weird in COVID, but again, I've been using the houses. I was speaking to you boys earlier. I haven't really figured out how to adult yet. As we know, I've got a robot hoover. My lights turn themselves on. I think I was saying to Marlon the other day,
you wanted the fucking blind thing.
So I woke up and it was light outside, but I've got blackout curtains. So the usual person, I think I was hungover, so I was like, I'm just going to lie in bed for a few hours or an hour, watch TV, but I wanted some light in here. I didn't want to have to turn the light on, because that would have involved having to tell Alexa to turn the light on. So I decided that I need to find a solution for this. So I've now found a device, I haven't bought it yet, that you can, it opens your curtains for you. I found a robot to open your curtains for you.
Are you fucking serious?
It's efficiency, it's not laziness.
Fuck's sake.
But it's cool, isn't it? It's really sad, but it's like.
But at the same time, you're a single bloke living on your own, and if I was in your position, I would be buying all of this fancy tech.
Yeah, I'm living my best life.
Yeah, because if it was up to me, my entire kitchen would be gloss black, chrome, and red, and brushed steel,
like a fucking diner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But we all have to
with roller skates.
Yeah, and a little fucking thing you press for the woman to come over. But no, I have to bow to the authority of the house, and
so you it'll be Hoover to do that.
It'll be rose gold, and we're duck egg blue.
Fucking duck egg blue.
It's sometimes these, that when they say, not that I've got a missus, but if they say this is how you should do it, you think that sounds crazy, but if you let them roll through it, when it's done, you're like, oh. Actually, that does actually look okay.
She wanted a fucking red kitchen, and I was like, "All right," because I got
at the end of the day, without being sexist, like my missus and your missus, they do most of the cooking in the house, if not all the cooking in the house. That's their area. Yeah. If they want it that way, they can have it that way. I'm not going to kick up a fuss. No. Yeah. Oh, that I just.
Oh.
He's in trouble now.
Just listen back to how that sounded. Didn't sound good. That is their domain.
Compare it to this is Reg's bar.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's Molly's kitchen.
We're fucking lazy. They sort us out.
Yeah. That there's no good way to phrase it. They spend most of their time in the fucking kitchen.
Fuck them.
No, she does all the cooking. That's where she spends her time. If she wants the kitchen a certain way, she can have the kitchen a certain way, and I will pay for half, if not more of that.
Yeah.
Because that's how it is, and that's how she wants it. But yeah, as a as a single bloke, I suppose you can have robot fucking curtains.
I can basically do what I want. It's great, and I've not gone too wild yet.
How far off?
Have you got one of these sex dolls yet?
Literally the question I was about to ask.
No shit.
Literally about to roll off my tongue. How far are you away from a big titted, fucking tatted up Japanese fucking?
I've been doing all right. Obviously, I've not broke any COVID rules, so I've not seen any women since March last year. So it's not got close to that yet.
So you already need to buy a new insert for your fleshlight because you bored it out.
That's exactly it.
Say.
Just need to keep buying new socks.
And yet it's not from walking.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Reg, we got a guest beer tonight, haven't we?
Shit, we have. Fuck, I totally forgot. I'm going to disappear now and get me the guest beer because I'm nearest the fridge.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
We'll just go to a quick break a minute, I reckon. And we're back.
We are back. Reggie.
Guest lager tonight, then.
I have been
what
to
we got, Reggie Reg?
Fridge. I've been to the fridge and I have got us something that you picked up from Tesco's. It is Brewdog Lost Lager. It is a 21st century Pilsner. United we stand for better beer. Fiercely defiant and independent. Lager like it should be. Is there any description on this? Let's have a little look.
Brewed in Elon, wherever the fuck that is.
Yeah, it doesn't even sound like somewhere English, but
there's some.
I thought Brewdog were an English company.
I thought
they are, but I don't know where.
But looking at some of this writing,
people in the comments now, like, you fucking idiots! I live in Elon.
This is
not even pronouncing it right.
Than I usually do anyway.
It's actually Elon.
Yeah. Let's have a little. Oh, that sound. Let's have a go then.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a fucking Brewdog.
It's a bougie beer.
It's not as punchy as I thought it would be.
Do you know what? I quite like that. I don't usually like all these niche craft lagers and beers and stuff because they're a bit.
That's a little bit more subtle than most things I've had. I've had a few Brewdogs before, and they really fucking smack you in the face with the flavour. Yeah, and that's a lot more subtle.
I've turned into a real bitch with my lager recently. Anyway, it's all light stuff now. It's Coors Light, Bud Light, all that.
I think the fault with that is we went to America. And we drank an awful lot of that shit, and it's really easy to drink. It's
so dangerous. The thing is, the percentage-wise, it's not much less than normal lager, but then you go to the pub and you neck 10 or so pints and you debilitate yourself. you get yourself into a right pickle quite quickly because it goes down so easily.
I think, as you can see from the, there's obviously no video at the moment, but there will be, and hopefully this will still be here when we do have.
I'm assuming you boys have got pictures for your Instagram.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we got a couple.
We are currently surrounded by well over 100 bottles of Corona and Corona boxes stacked up to the roof. So myself and Marlon have worked ourselves quite an incredible drinking tolerance for when lockdown is lifted. We go to the pub and most people will be, as Keith said it, a 2-can Van Dam. And myself and Marlon will be stood there on pint 12 being like, oh, I'll have one more for the road, I reckon.
Ain't nothing, bitches.
Do you know what? There's something to be said with keeping in training. I've been keeping into lockdown stuff, but I've been drinking... God, I sound like an alcoholic, but heavily, as with some people have throughout lockdown. But it's not changed. Rather than going to the pub, I've joined my support bubble because I live alone. So I've been having beers most weekends. So my tolerance is still right there. But I know a friend said he'd been drinking recently. He had a cut like 4 beers, and he said he was feeling a bit on the piss already.
A bit keen, like.
There's going to be a lot of that, isn't there?
Yeah, fucking hell.
See, it says 21st century Pilsner on this, but having drank a lot of Pilsner over in Prague, obviously.
I love Prague.
But I wouldn't say it's a Pilsner.
I wouldn't go as far. I mean, they might call it a Pilsner. It might be technically a Pilsner.
Yeah, by definition.
I'm not really getting that real hard-hitting sort of like, they call it lost lager. I think the Pilsner is more lost than anything. That sounds really cunty, doesn't it? I've really shit on Brewdog there on that one.
I think I don't usually like Brewdogs, but I would.
That's it, I'm not.
I would never order
fan.
this. Like order Brewdog in a pub. I know that this is actually a lighter one and it's more lagery, I would probably have a pint of that.
I'm not taking away from it. I'm enjoying it. It's a delicious drink, but I think Pilsner's a stretch. personally.
Yeah, it's pushing it.
Because when we had...
the old fucking strapper pram on.
Yeah, we had a strapper pram on. We were drinking a Pilsner Urquell, which is obviously the pinnacle of Pilsner because it is the original Pilsner. When I taste that, you know where you are and you know exactly this is what a Pilsner should taste like. Yeah, I don't care what any of these craft breweries want to call a Pilsner or what they want to fucking, change it and derive it to.
Shit, a lot of it as well, I think. I think
We've added hoppy extracts of arsehole and vagina to this one.
It's a way to chuck an extra couple of pounds on half a can.
I'd say what I drank the other day. It was a Brewdog. It was marshmallow chocolate cake or something. Stout, and honest
it's
to
like
God,
a fucking dessert.
Honest to God, it was a 440 can, and I chucked it in, and it was horrendous. I couldn't finish it.
It was quite a thick.
What is a stout? A stout is Guinness is a stout.
Yeah.
Murphy's is a stout. There are various other stouts out there, I'm sure, but I tried it, and I drank half of it, chucked the rest away. It was fucking vile. I don't know where.
Try to add all these magic things in.
Stop fucking with stuff.
Sometimes it doesn't need to be niche. It just needs to be.
It needs to be good.
Nice.
It needs to be drinkable. And I mean, some people will probably say, "Oh, you lot are just conditioned to drinking fucking shit," which
true, yeah,
maybe adds to the 200 Corona bottles surrounding us at the moment.
Yeah, if you saw what I could see,
you can probably attest to. But I think these craft brews are just pushing too far into it and trying to make too many weird and niche and fucking peculiar drinks.
And everybody's doing it now as well. I saw Dapper Laughs has brought his own. I'm quite keen to try his because he's a lager man, so he might have actually created something good. But
I didn't even realise he was still alive.
He's very funny still. He's still doing the comedian stuff, but he's just living the family life. But he's still a lad, so he's worth a look.
So Dapper Laughs has brought out a range of beers.
Yeah.
Do they taste of rape jokes and sexism?
I mean, it's going to be, isn't it? So it's probably great.
This one tastes of media controversy. Oh, and this one is getting cancelled.
I don't think we've been that bad yet.
No. I'm on about Dapper Laughs.
While we're on it, thank you to everybody that's been listening. Shout out to everyone that shared, listened, watched. Fucking, you haven't watched shit because we haven't uploaded anything.
Yeah, no.
But, we looking good.
Yeah, no, things are doing well. I mean, we're obviously just starting out. We're on episode, 3.5 now. And everyone that listens, every share on Instagram, every story you put up, every follow on Spotify, if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, a rating and a review it helps us out so much. And yeah, we're not making a penny out of this. We've invested quite a substantial amount of money into the kit that we've got.
I can attest to that as well. I've heard these boys on about this for a long time, and they've put a lot into it.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time in the works, and we've talked and thought about it for a long time. We've been over the sort of story of why we wanted to start a podcast.
No, I remember. I think it was last year. We were talking about. Me and Reg were just talking about podcasts and stuff because we both found out that we listened to the JRE stuff, and we kind of. He said we could do it. You could do a podcast in here, and you just saw the cogs turning in his head, and then when he said, I was like, he's done it. He's actually done it, and it makes total sense because it is just. It's in the Doghouse just chatting shit, but the conversations that you come up with, especially when you get different people in, is really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's where it sort of developed from was, and I've said it before, but sitting in the bar, we're talking shit and we're making each other laugh and we're talking about, sometimes we're talking about touchy subjects. Like we had Keith on last week and, he touched on immigrants and whatnot, and half of me thought, oh, do I cut this? And do I just, do I cut it out? But really, that's his thoughts. And, I don't think we should... that's his opinion. And if I were to cut that, then I'd be silencing his opinion.
It's a good insight into
and we are
the normal bar chat.
Pardon?
We are supposed to be.
Oh, that's the thing. We're uncensored. And, up until the point we get cancelled, we will speak our truths. And that was what Keith wanted to talk about. And, there were points of it which I totally agree with. There were some parts that I didn't. But, that's his opinion. And I'm not going to not let him say these things because of what I think. And also what, the majority of the nation and the blue-haired liberals don't want to hear about.
No politics, Marlon.
Hey, we've got this far. We are, an hour and 14 in and we've done no politics. So
smashing it, boys.
We just got to say it, though, because this is my line. No politics, Reg.
Speaking of politics, did you see my purchase, Reg? I know Marlon's seen it.
Oh, well, as you well know, I'm not allowed to be on social media with my job, so I unfortunately can't.
So I've got an issue with Amazon and beer. I drink too much beer and then I go on Amazon. And it's.
I thought you meant they were fucking up your Prime deliveries.
So one of my most recent ones is I ended up buying a cardboard cutout of our proud leader Boris Johnson. A life-size cardboard cutout of Boris Johnson.
What are you going to use that?
Scares. So this is, and I promise you, I'm not a complete pussy. Scaring the life out of myself with the lights going off in the bathroom. But the first few times so I had it set up in the office because working from home, the Zoom calls, and then you've got Boris in the background. It's just fucking hilarious to me. And he's got the brilliant. He's got the Save Life sign up. He's holding out the Stay Home, Save Lives, whatever the slogan is.
Stay home, fuck bitches.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I ask how much that cost?
It was, I think it was £40. Yeah, I've got no reason for it. It's hilarious, and I absolutely love it.
The life of a single man.
Scared the shit out of me. So I've got, if you wake up a little bit daisy, you've not got your glasses on, Reg will attest to this.
Hey, man.
And then you just see this figure of Boris stood in your office at 3 in the morning. It is the
what are you doing here,
scariest thing
mate?
in the world. And it's catching everybody. It's in the corner of the kitchen now.
Yes.
He's guarding the kitchen. It's hilarious. He's great. That's about my only input into politics, because I know we're staying off of that, but I do have Boris Johnson in the house.
Oh, fuck's sake. We have him in our fucking house every day at fucking 6 o'clock for the daily briefing.
There was a time where it was like, oh, Boris is on at 6, everyone get, and it'd be like, everybody stick it on, no social media, everyone's just sat there waiting for this. But I don't watch any of it anymore. I can't do it.
Not at all. Not unless you hear on the grapevine. It's always through your mate's mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or somebody down the burger van, or somebody you've seen in overheard in the shop saying, big announcement on tonight. Big announcement.
I would
and then you go on
wait till the
BBC
next
News,
day.
and BBC News will perpetuate that and say, there was a big announcement on tonight. So you all sit down and you watch it, and it's never fucking good news, is it? I don't know why the fuck I sit there and pay attention to it, because you're going to hear about it regardless. All you do is you hear it from the horse's mouth, and I sit there on the fucking sofa and I get amped up. Oh, yeah, the fucking state of this country. For fuck's sake, why don't they just let us do what we fucking want? We should be more like fucking Texas. It's all on fucking, you should be looking after yourself and not worrying about it. Yeah, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah, to be honest, I've made like a conscious effort to just not look at it. I get the highlights the next day. I look at the statistics for the vaccinations now, because we're doing a good job. As long as that number's looking good, that's all I care about.
That's exactly what I do. Every day, religiously, I will go on, look at the amount of people we've vaccinated in a day, look at the cases, the hospitalizations, and the deaths for the day. Nice to see them in the green and going down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's when they're going up, I try not to look at them every day.
Yeah,
but
we
no,
got
it's
those days.
Yeah, but no, it's
We're heading in the right direction, I think.
Absolutely, we are, and I do hope that with this vaccination program, that everything does start to go swimmingly, and we do stick to the timeline of, things will start opening up over the next few months.
I mean, whatever flaws they've made, and they've made some royal fuck ups.
Oh,
this vaccination thing, which is essentially the means to the end. They are doing a bloody good job with that, and fair play to them. We're getting through it.
There's no denying it. The NHS are fucking knocking it out of the park with this one. Jesus,
and all the
Christ.
volunteers as well, not just the NHS.
Yeah,
volunteers.
shout out
You
to them
see them in the local towns. There's
blokes with the tabards at the council offices, and
even been on the road quite a bit, driving through the towns. You see all the vaccination centres in these small little towns that you drive through. So they're really making a good effort at it. And I've seen people today on Facebook that I think they're like in their 30s that are getting them as well, and I'm pretty sure they don't have that bad health
coming through like thick and fast, mine.
I'm gonna say my father and his partner, they had their vaccinations on Friday, and they're of an age where I thought they'd be doing the upper age bracket, but they've had theirs done. I know. Obviously, our friend has had his. He's same age as me, so he's mid to late 20s. He's had his already, obviously with health concerns and whatnot. But
yeah, they're getting there. And it's nice to see that that is the means to the end. Apparently, they're letting you book your second jab.
Oh,
as well.
the second jabs are flying. They're doing nearly 100,000 of the second jabs a day.
That's good to see.
Yeah, my grandparents had both of their second jabs.
Oh, really?
They had both jabs before Christmas. That was in the sort of time period where they were trying to work out, do we try and smash out the most amount of first jabs as we can?
Yeah.
So yeah, they managed to get both of theirs in, so they're all fully protected. It's
Hey, we're doing better than the EU. Sorry, Marlon, I couldn't resist.
What's the line, Marlon?
No politics.
Hey, you know what? Whatever's happened around it, I think, this Brexit situation's definitely helped with the vaccine, and that's a big plus. And I will stop there because Marlon will shout at me. See the steam coming out of his ears.
Stop talking fucking politics. Yeah. I mean, when
fucking time
when we get the video sorted and we go live stream, but when we get on Facebook and YouTube, with all the clips, you'll be able to see our lovely large cardboard cutout of Margaret Thatcher in the corner, and
I'll bring Boris.
It doesn't really fucking exist.
The shrine that I've made to David Cameron. I'm only fucking with Joe.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Right, I think we've pretty much covered everything, haven't we?
I got one last question, haven't we?
Well, there's always one last question.
One more?
Yeah.
More? You do it, Reg.
All right. So, Kirbz, if you were to step into my shoes right now,
yeah,
what is the one question that I should have asked you that I haven't?
One question. Do you know what? I think the problem is all you can think about at the moment is the COVID stuff, and it's how you're getting on with the COVID and all that. But I think you just naturally cover that. I mean, we've spoke about that anyway in this. That it's been fine. I can't think off the top of my head. I think it's...
So we've nailed it, basically.
Yeah, what you're saying is that we're fantastic interviewers.
I've said to you boys before, I think after the first one, it all ran real smooth. And, Reg, I know, is a serial podcaster, listener. And I've listened to your other episodes, and it's going real good. It sounds good. So it's going to evolve.
Hell yeah.
Well... We have more guests on. Hopefully, we'd love to have you back on at some point, Kirbz.
Yeah, happy to come back.
You've been fucking brilliant, cracking stories. I've enjoyed all your car tales and the tales of the robot eating your everything and your
I do like
wanking in the shower and
I thought it was shitting in the shower.
Giving it the waffles, the waffle stomp.
It's one of 3 options in the shower.
Right, I think we'll call that a fucking episode and fuck off.
Brilliant. Cheers, boys.
Right, thank you everyone. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Kirbz.
We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.
Hell yeah.